Okay, we're out in Leroy for a siding estimate. Prior gutter helmet and roof customer from a few years back. So what we have is they've got an old T111 siding, and we're going to give them the options of tearing off the siding. Behind that is a homosite board, and then insulating the walls, which is quite extensive. If there's insulation on the walls, I'm going to recommend going over it, cutting the siding, the bad siding obviously, out of the way. So what we would do is we would come up 6 inches from the roof, follow that pitch, and get at least all of our flashings exposed, and then tuck underneath it, new ice shield up underneath under the wood, and put new lumber to keep it like 1 inch off of the roof, and so that way water doesn't bind up. As you look around, or as we go around the back, you'll see where mold has been growing. If we don't do whether we do the work or not, the helmet in certain areas is going to have to be removed because we've got to create access going up and down. So we're going to do the inside cove, all the upper siding off, option on. If we option leaving it on, all the trim boards are going to come off. Okay. The left side here, the woodpeckers have been eating this up. We're also going to give them an option to replace these peak vents. With the roof venting acting the way it should, we normally recommend pulling the peak vents out, so air is going to go by path of least resistance and draw from these soffits as long as they're open up. So we got the left side, you can see where the woodpecker's been eating away at the wood here. We got a couple of different obstacles that we got to work around. Our downspouts will come off and go back on. I'd recommend replacing these spouts with new, like this one's in pretty bad shape. A lot of them are just dirty, and might as well just clean them up while we're there. You can see the mold on, maybe not with the sun, but you can see the mold right here where the roofing meets the siding, so that definitely has to be cut up. Cut the siding out, and the same thing across the apron, and we'll end up with, a nice brown apron flashing, and then going up that little rake there. So we would plan on coming, 1 or 2 panels over the sliding glass door and taking the helmet off over to this sliding glass door, so they got free access going up to the siding to do that. On the porch area, everything here is cut and dry. If they do choose the option to tear off, the best we can do is 2 inches above the decking, and then and expose that. But that is something that's going to be that will be quite extensive if we do. And then new light blocks where the lights are. There's a couple of window sashes that they want replaced. This, like I said, we would take this board corner, come off, and we also have the option of, putting in a nice 3/4 of an inch foam board. We can give the options to. They got streamlined windows now. If they wanted to make these wider, we can actually widen this out and trim those windows all off in aluminum. So we're going to give them a price per peak vent. This is a heating system that we got to worry about, because you can see the discoloration here. So what we end up doing is probably coming up just with a piece of aluminum right in through here, and then below that aluminum we'd have ourselves just a little bit of a heat diverter to where you're not getting the extent going onto the new vinyl. So we got the luxury of working with these drain tiles because they're pretty flexible. And on the side of the house here, we got a couple of bees' nests that have been that are making themselves pronounced. This section here, where this downspout comes across here, depending on the color they choose, which I think they're looking at something close to this clay or wicker that's on the shed. We can actually get a downspout to match that color to go into this lower. But you can see how much mold and everything. That siding really should have never been tight to that roofing, but it has been, so it's been sucking up the water like a sponge. And like I said, if we cut that up 6 inches, 5-6 inches, and then we just put a board back in there with our Tyvek wrap and make sure the flashing's all nice and in the right spot, we can go from there. This old dog door is going to get omitted. And then again, like I said, we got all the peak vents. This soffit and fascia, it's got a factory fascia going on the bottom. Soffit got a little damaged, so we'll give them the option to run a full vented aluminum soffit on this 13 foot here, or whatever you got, 12 or 13 foot. It's on the back gable here. The doors get flashed. We want to make sure that we run a flashing over top of any of these wood doors before the siding goes on. And this little trim board here, which is kind of like a small freeze board, that's going to be completely omitted now. And whether we take the siding off or not, the new siding will go right up to the bottom of the soffit. So if you think about it, this is built out 3/4 of an inch. We can go with a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch foam board. Maybe not so much on the garage, but on the living area, it's not a bad idea. So, okay.